The 5 tips I'm going over today will help you immediately dominate and get a head start over any opponent in college football 26. These tips have helped me win money tournaments and have helped thousands of players win more games. These tips will consist of how to beat certain defenses, how to stop RPOs, and other unique features that are guaranteed to help you improve. So if you want to win more games, let's get started with the video. For tip number 1, we're going to go over pull routes and how they work. Now, if you struggle versus zone defenses, it's likely because you don't know how pull routes work and what you can do to get players open. So for example here, I have a corner route on this middle trips receiver on the left side of your screen. And right now, we do not have any pull route to pull any deep zones up the field. So it's just pretty much a corner by itself. So I'm going to snap this ball, and what you're going to see is that the deep outside zone, so right now I'm going to cover 3, so that deep outside blue zone is going to be able to guard that corner route. So I'm going to snap the ball here, and I'm going to try to fit this in, and well, that deep zone is right there to cut it off, and he gets an easy interception. So again, that is a corner route without a pull route. If we were to go to the instant replay real quick, you'll see that once again, since there's no streak pulling back this deep zone, he's able to cut off the corner and he gets an easy interception. So now let's go over an example with a pull route streak. So what player on our field right now will be able to pull back that deep outside blue zone on that left side of your screen? The only option we have is that outside trips receiver, so the X receiver. We can put that receiver on a streak just like that. And now that streak will pull back that deep outside third to open up the corner. So I'm going to snap this ball now. And if we have enough time in the pocket, you're going to see that the corner will be wide open on the sidelines with nobody near him, and that deep outside third doesn't even have a chance to pick that ball off or just disrupt the pass. So I'm going to go to the instant replay here, and you're going to see that the streak by the outside trip receiver pulls back that deep zone, and then we have that corner route wide open underneath, and we hit him on the sidelines for an easy catch. So let's do this one more time. We're going to put the outside trips receiver on a streak to open up our corner route, and that streak will push back that deep blue zone. I'm going to put a D lineman on a QB spy here just to be sure we have some time in the pocket so I can show you how this works. And once again, we have that corner with a pass lead down just to be sure that that deep zone can't guard that route, and he doesn't, and we get an easy play. And once again, in the instant replay, you see that the streak pushes back that deep third, and we have the corner route wide open underneath for an easy catch on the sidelines. Now with that streak, we were able to stretch the field vertically. So the vertical stretches the defense vertically. We can also stretch the defense horizontally. So for example here, I'm going to put my inside trips receiver on a zig, then I'm going to put the middle trips receiver on a flat. So this flat will push hard flats, so this hard flat right here, towards the sidelines, opening up the zig route. But if we did not have a flat on the field, this hard flat right here will be able to guard the zig route. So without a pull route, zigs will not get open versus zone defense. So let's show you an example here. So right here, we have a zig that does not have a pull route helping it get open. We just have 2 streaks and a zig. So I'm going to snap the ball here, and you're going to see that the flat is going to be able to guard that zig route for an easy interception. Once again, it's all because we don't have the proper route combo. Now, if we were to put that same player on a zig, and then we were to put, let's say, the middle trips receiver on a flat, well, now we have a flat pushing the hard flat zone towards the sidelines because he has to guard the flat, and then we will have the zig open kind of near the hash marks. So I'm going to snap this ball, and now you're going to see that the zig is open, and we have an easy 5 to 6 yard gain, and with a better pass lead kind of up, we probably even get a better rack catch. But let's go to the instant replay so you can see how this works. So we have this player on a flat, and he pulls this hard flat towards the sidelines, which opens up all of this space for the zig for an easy 5 to 6 yard gain. So let's show you this one more time. And once again, we are going to put the inside trips receiver on a zig, the middle trips receiver on a flat, and the defense is in a cover 4 drop. I'm going to snap this ball. You're going to see that the zig is open right there. We can get a rack catch, and now we just got 10 to 12 yards, all because we're using the proper route combo, and we used a flat to push the hard flat towards the sidelines to open up the zig. So if you're not using pull routes to beat zone defense, you probably struggle against zone defenses, and this is the way you could beat any zone defense in college football. For tip number 2, clicking onto receivers and coming back to the ball is one of the biggest skill gaps in college football and will greatly improve your offense if you improve at it. So clicking onto receivers is when you pass a ball to a certain receiver, you click onto them and then come back to the ball, pretty much away from defenders. So for example, I have a short corner on this right side of the field by the tight end. And because it's a short corner, you don't necessarily need to put a pull route streak on the field, but you do need to click onto the receiver and come back to the ball for it to work. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to snap the ball, and then I'm going to pass lead this ball down, and then I'm going to click onto the receiver by pressing B or O and moving the left stick down towards the ball to move the receiver towards the ball and aggressive catch it away from the defenders, more specifically away from that deep blue zone. So again, I'm in cover 4 drop, so I'm going to be kind of moving away from that deep outside blue zone on the right side. So when I snap this ball, you're going to see with a pass lead down, I'm going to be able to come back to that ball and then get 2 feet in and not even get touched by the outside deep blue zones. Now let me show you a bad example here where I don't come back to the ball and I don't pass lead it down. So once again, we're in a cover 4 drop. Let me shade this coverage down real quick. So we have a cover 4 shaded down, and then once again, I'm going to snap this ball, have a bad pass lead, and not come back to the ball. And if I don't come back to the ball, you see right there, now we have an incompletion. So a huge difference between a good click on and a good pass lead, and then a bad pass lead and a bad click on. So let's show you the good example. So once again, we have that short corner. I'm going to snap this ball. I'm going to pass lead it down. I'm going to come back to the ball, and right there, we don't even get touched by any of the defenders, and we get a seemingly very easy catch, but it's all because we're clicking onto the receiver and coming back to the ball with a good pass lead. Now let's go over a different route. Let's go over a speed out that's custom stemmed up 2 times. So this is a very popular route. So the way I did that, I just put my outside receiver on a speed out, then I pressed wired triangle, pressed my receiver's icon, held LB or L1, and then I went up with the D-pad 2 times. So then the speed out looks like that, and it's very good against man or zone. But again, you need a good pass lead, and you need to click onto the receiver and come back to the ball for this to work. So when I snap the ball, I'm going to pass lead it down and click onto the receiver by pressing B or O and then moving the left stick down and coming back to the ball with the receiver. So I'm going to snap this ball, pass lead it down, I'm going to click onto the receiver, come back to the ball, aggressive catch it with Y, and right there we get an easy catch and don't even get touched by the defense. Now let me show you a bad example. So here we have our speed out, and I'm going to snap this ball, I'm going to have a bad pass lead and not come back to the ball, I'm not going to do anything, and right there, again, a huge difference. Now it's an interception. It's the same route, but a different pass lead, and we're not clicking on. So let's show you the one more good example. So we're going to put a speed out on our outside receiver again. We're going to snap this ball. We're going to pass lead it down. We're going to come back to the ball, and now we get an easy catch and a lot of separation because of a pass lead and clicking on to the receiver and coming back to the ball. So hopefully you're able to see the differences of coming back to the ball and not coming back to the ball. With clicking on, you're able to throw so many other routes, and it really just expands your offense. For tip number 3, if you want to improve at defense, the number 1 thing you can do is practice switch sticking. Now, switch sticking allows us to switch to any player in coverage during a pass play. So you're going to see right here, I'm this player on the lower right. Now I'm going to the middle. Now I'm going to kind of like the left middle. Now I'm all the way to the left lower part of the screen. Now I'm left upper, up middle. So you can switch to any player in coverage during a passing play as long as you are also a defender in a coverage assignment. So you always need to start with a player in a coverage assignment. He can't be on a blitz or else you won't be able to switch stick. But a cool thing about switch sticking is if you get stuck on a D lineman, you can hold B or O at the snap and then move the left stick up towards a player in coverage, and you can switch off the defender to a coverage assignment player. I'm going to snap this ball, I'm on a D lineman, I'm holding B, then I move the left stick up, and now I am switch sticking to a player in coverage, and now I can switch stick to anybody that I want to. So that's a really cool feature of switch stick. So when I'm switch sticking, what I'm doing is moving the right stick towards the player that I want to switch to. So let me put a D lineman in, or all my D linemen in QB spy so a pass rush doesn't come in here. And right now, I'm in the middle of the screen. What if I wanted to go to that lower right? I just flick my right stick towards that player, and now I am that player. What if I want to go to the player above him? Then I'm going to switch, or I'm going to move my right stick up. Now I am that player on the top right. What if I wanted to go top middle? I'm just going to move my left stick to the left. Boom, now I'm that player. So it's entirely directional, and it's honestly pretty easy to switch to the player that you want to. Sometimes you do end up hit sticking, but when you get used to this, it really works quite well. So what if I wanted to get to the bottom left? Boom, boom, boom. Now I'm bottom left. That took, I don't know, probably less than a second. So once you practice, you will get really good at it. Now I want to go over why this is so good. Like, why is switch sticking so powerful? Well, right now I'm in a cover 4 drop defense, right? We have 8 people in coverage, 3 people rushing, and I'm going to put someone in a QB spy so the pass rush does not get in there. I'm going to set up a flood concept on this left side of the field. So we have a streak, we have a zig, and we have a corner route. And with this cover 4 drop shaded underneath, you're going to see that the corner will get wide open, and you're really not going to be able to defend it just running normal cover 4 defense or cover 3 or any stock zone coverage for that matter. But what if we were to add the switch stick? So what if we saw that corner coming, right? And we wanted to switch stick to the flat and then bait that corner out. Well, with switch stick, we could. So again, we are running the same defense, and we're going to set up that same exact route combo. So we're going to have that flood concept on the left side. So here's our flood. I don't know what's happening to my controller. There we go. We have that flood on the left side. So at the snap of this ball, what I'm going to do is switch stick to this flat defender and go up the field to bait that corner out. And again, this is the same coverage. I'm going to snap the ball. I'm going to switch stick to the flat. I see that corner. Now I baited the corner, and now I'm right there for an interception. Again, same coverage, but we added switch sticking. So that's what switch sticking could do. You can run stock coverages, and then you can switch stick around and bait different routes, especially corner routes. So if you're somebody who doesn't like adjusting, well, you could just honestly be amazing at defense with just learning how to switch stick and bait routes just like that. So I'm gonna go in the instant replay right here and just show you real quick what exactly I did again. So I'm using this linebacker, and then at the snap, I see that a corner might be developing. So I switch stick to this flat, and then I move the flat up the field, and I bait the corner, and I get an easy interception. And not many people will pretty much expect you to switch stick this like that, and they will throw you this ball. And if they decide to hit that flat, so this flat is open, but then you can just move back down with your user and get a tackle, and maybe they get 5 yards, but it's a lot better than giving up a 20 to 30 yard corner route. So how can you get better at switch sticking? Well, doing exactly what I'm doing right now. So really what you want to do is go into practice mode, go into cover 4 drop, and literally just let the offense do their thing, snap the ball, and just start switch sticking around. Get a feel for switch sticking to each player, and maybe even put your D line in QB contain so you can actually have a little bit longer to switch stick. But just snap that ball and switch stick around, get a feel for where you want to move the right stick to get to each player. And then once you think the rep is over, you could, throw the ball out with the offense and then start all over. So that's how you can get better at switch sticking, get a better feel for it. And then in a game, what I would do is make yourself switch stick at least once per play, and then once you get used to it, you could then go up. So then once you get used to 1 time, then go to 2, then go to 3, then go to 4. And don't worry about wins or losses. Don't worry about accidentally giving up a 1-play touchdown. You're practicing this. You're ultimately getting better long term. And a lot of people don't like doing that because they want to win and lose, or they want to win and they're worried about losing. But you want to win for the long term. You want to improve. And that is definitely one of the best ways to improve at switch sticking. For tip number 4, I get comments all the time about not being able to make certain adjustments before opponents snap the ball. And usually this is because they are manually adjusting players rather than individually adjusting. So let me show you an example here. Right now I have a cover 2 shell. And what if we had to switch this to a cover 3 shell pre-snap? Well, what a lot of people do is go to each player individually. They switch to them, then they'll put this guy in a third. Maybe they put this guy in a middle third, this guy in a deep outside third, and then they put this guy in a flat. Then we have it all good. Well, that wasn't the slowest, but it also wasn't the fastest. And someone could definitely snap the ball as you're doing that, and then you're stuck on somebody you don't want to be on, and you could switch stick back, but it just makes things a little bit more difficult. And that's where quick adjusting comes in. Quick adjusting allows you to stay on your user, and switch players' assignments with just a few button clicks. So for example, let's just say we wanted this D lineman Keeley to be on a vert hook. Well, you don't actually have to go to him individually and then put him on a vert hook. What you could do is double tap the D-pad to the left, click on that player's icon, and then put him in a vertical hook, which is down on the left stick. So now he's in a vert hook with just a few button presses. Now you could do that for any of the D linemen. So to quick adjust D linemen, all you have to do is double tap left on the D-pad, like I said before. You can click on whatever D lineman you want. So let's just say we want B, Robinson, and then you get their quick adjust menu on the screen, and you can put him in whatever you want. Let's just say we want a QB spy, so now he's in a QB spy. But what about the linebackers? What if we wanted to put this linebacker in a different assignment? So for the linebackers, all you have to do is double tap right on the D-pad, then you can click on whatever linebacker you want. We have A here, and then let's just say we want to put him in a curl flat, which is right on the left stick, and now he's in a curl flat. What about the secondary, so the corners and safeties? Let's just say we wanted to put this left side safety in a hook curl. We could double tap wire triangle, press that player's icon, and then go down with the left stick to put him in a hook curl. So that's how you can quick adjust every position. So let's go back to our cover 2 shell. So once again, here's our cover 2 shell. Now I'm gonna put this cover 2 shell back into a cover 3 shell using quick adjustments. So watch how much quicker it is with the quick adjustments. Boom, now we're in a cover 3, and it's a lot easier than going to each player individually and then trying to get back to your user before your opponent snaps the ball. So make sure you use quick adjustments, and you can practice this by going into practice mode and doing exactly what I just did by switching different coverage shells, practicing knowing what each player has and doesn't have in their assignment menu, and just getting used to it. For tip number 5, trying to stop RPOs can be difficult and annoying. So I'm going over 3 ways you can stop RPOs that work in every game. So when you're playing online, you will usually see RPOs with a bubble on a receiver. That's probably the most popular RPO that you'll see. Now, there's 3 ways we can go about attacking pretty much any RPO in the game. The first way is just manning up the RPO receiver. So you could do this with a linebacker or slot corner. Right here, I'm gonna do it with a linebacker. So I'm just going to go to this linebacker here, and we can quick adjust that linebacker to get a man up on that bubble. So we can double tap right on the D-pad, press the linebacker's icon, go up with the right stick, and then press the receiver's icon, and now that linebacker is manned up. We can also go to him individually if we wanted to. We can press A, right stick up, and then B, and now he's still manned up. And one thing I do like doing is kind of just, moving that linebacker closer to that player just to be sure that he plays that bubble. And you're going to see that the man up will play that pretty well. And right there, he just stopped, but he still was able to make that tackle. I'm not sure why he stopped there, but let's just do this again. So we're going to do this. And right now we have him manned up. I'm going to snap this ball, and you're going to see that he is right there for a play and makes that incompletion. You can also just man up the slot corner. So I would move this slot corner in, I would man him up, maybe put this guy in a flat, whatever you want to do here. But the slot corner does work depending on alignment right there, because he's too outside. I don't want to man him up all the way out here. I want to man him up more towards that bubble receiver. So I just moved him in, and at the snap, you're going to see that he will play that. And now it's an incompletion. And you saw that hard flat guard that RPO too. That gets me into my next way we can guard RPOs, and that's with hard flats. So right now we have a hard flat on our slot corner, and what we're going to do is move him towards the RPO bubble receiver, and you're going to see that the flat will guard that RPO. And right there, even though he stopped for a little bit, he still was able to make that play. So hard flats and manning up does a great job at stopping RPOs. The third way at stopping RPOs is just usering it. So if you're playing someone who's spamming RPOs, one thing you can do is just user this RPO bubble. And a lot of the times, people like that who spam RPOs aren't really making reads, and they'll still throw it to you anyways, just like this, and you can get easy interceptions. So that is another way you could guard RPOs, just using it. So we'll do this one more time. We're gonna line up over this RPO. We're gonna play it ourselves. He's gonna pass it, and right there, we get a dropped interception, but we were there to make a play. So those are 3 ways you can stop RPOs. They're all very good in pretty much every single game, Madden or college football. So definitely use these 3 concepts to stop RPOs. If you enjoyed this video, I highly recommend my new gameplay channel where you can see these tips in live action. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.